That is the greatest Royal Rumble. We'll put that in the past. We'll talk about the present. That being Infinity War, my friend. Avengers Infinity War came out last Friday. And all I gotta say is wow. That's all I gotta say. The movie was just that good. But before we go any further with our review of this movie, Jamie, your thoughts on just the MCU in general. What movies have you followed? How closely have you followed the MCU over the last 10 years since the release of Iron Man 1? Exactly 10 years ago yesterday.
Exactly. I haven't followed it as closely as I would have liked to. I mean, I have, seen almost like every little announcement saying Iron Man 1 comes out, this date in 2008, or here's Thor, here's Captain America, here's this, here's that. I haven't seen every movie. I'm going to be upfront right now and say I have not seen every film. And I don't know if I'm going to get crucified for that or not. I'm working on it. Leave me alone. Phase 1 and Phase 2 sets on Amazon are ridiculously priced.
Yep.
Give me a break. $160. You kidding me?
Yeah, right.
But yeah. So again, haven't been following it for as long as I would have liked to. Because, back before the MCU started, the Spider-Man trilogy was my thing. Well, I guess you could say the Spider-Man double, because I don't count 3, because 3 was garbage.
Absolutely terrible, yeah. Movie sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And I have always been a Tobey guy. Don't hate me, everyone. Tom Holland is great. I love him. I think he's a fantastic Peter Parker, miles better than Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been a Tobey guy. Hate me if you want. But anyways, but I've probably been, I started closely following it when the first Avengers movie came out, so I guess you could say I hopped on the bandwagon, because I remember the first real proper job that I had was I was working at a Zellers, which is pretty much like the Canadian equivalent to Target.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just getting stocks and stocks full of all these Avengers toys, and Thor hammers and Hulk fists and whatnot, and I know that a group of people that I worked with were going to go see it, and I'm like, and I just thought, okay, I guess I'll go see it with them then. And I was blown away, and I was like, man, this universe is something else. Mm-hmm. And see, when you can make CGI not look like CGI, you've impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've always enjoyed about them, just the special effects and the actors and the actresses. Scarlett Johansson is my number one forever and always. But man, Infinity War, wow. I did not realize how much that stuff affected me until it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are we going for spoilers or no spoilers here?
Here's the thing. I think it's been so far removed from the movie. It came out, just about a week ago at this point. I think we are going for spoilers, so just heads up. I should have said that when we started the review. But, give a heads up for anyone listening right now. We are going to discuss spoilers for Infinity War, so if you do not want to be spoiled, if you haven't seen it yet, first of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Second of all, just skip ahead 10, 15, 20 minutes, because we're going to be talking about this for a hot minute here. But yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a spoiler zone right here on the show.
This is spoilers hazard ahead, people.
Yeah, exactly.
But man, this is one of the few movies where the bad guy won and you literally felt defeated afterwards. Yep. I remember just when he's walking out of, I don't know what it was, if it was a ship or a cave, it's all a blur to me now. And the screen cuts to black and then the credits show, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Everyone around me, I went and saw it with 4 of my closest friends, and all of us, and I just so and like I was just so happening whatever to be sitting in the middle of the four of them, and like I just kind of like looked to my right, looked to my left. I was like, do you guys believe what the hell was going on here? Like, is this like? I'm like, no, it can't end like this. How the hell am I supposed to wait a year?
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait a year for this. Oh my gosh. I was so baffled I forgot to take my collector's cup out of the theater and I had to rush back in to find it.
I saw you tweet about that, and you ended up finding someone else's, right?
Yeah, mine was stolen, but someone else left theirs. I said, well, I didn't get orange slush, but it's mine now.
That's funny.
God, but man, it was great. I will say this, a lot of people are saying it was the best Marvel movie ever made. See, I can't fairly judge that, obviously, because I haven't seen them all.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely probably top three of the ones that I have seen. I think my favorite one is still Civil War.
Mm-hmm. That's a great one. Yep.
And there are three major franchises that have tried to do this similar scene. Two are films and one is video game. Batman v Superman, Civil War, and Halo 5. Batman v Superman had that, 5-minute fight that was like, ooh, ah.
Mm-hmm.
5-10 minute, whatever. Halo 5, the general basis of the game was that they were building up to this big epic fight between the mainstay of the series, the Master Chief, and this new guy coming in, Spartan Locke. They had this 2-minute combat scene, and that was it. And it was in the middle of the game, and it's like, wow, you literally you wasted 3 years of our lives for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Civil War. That airport scene was unbelievable. Still one of my favorite scenes in cinema history.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was unbelievably awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But man, and see, that is the thing that I love about Marvel, is the fact that they have all of these different crossovers, and it could look like that they're overdoing it, but they're really not, which is crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Because in almost every movie for the last 5 or 6 years, there's always been another character from another film series in someone else's series.
Yep.
How Hulk has been in Thor's
Mm-hmm.
quite a few times.
And Iron Man was in Spider-Man's movie.
Exactly. And it's unbelievable the way that they do it. And man, God bless Stan Lee. I'm telling you, man, when he goes, and I'm praying to God it's not for a long time. But man, when he goes, it's going to be a sad day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very sad that day.
Absolutely.
That week, that month.
Mm-hmm.
Hell.
Yeah. Dig the whole month
anyways.
off. Yeah, it's going to be it's like Vince McMahon passing away with the WWE.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But man, and if I was to compare Marvel to WWE in any way, Marvel is like the NXT of movies.
Absolutely. That is a great comparison.
Have ranged from good to great.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree.
That is the way I would try to describe Marvel to someone who is a huge wrestling fan. I'd just be like, Marvel is NXT. Just watch them, and you'll be amazed.
Mm-hmm. And they know what they're doing, too. I mean, they plan everything out. Everything makes sense. You go back and watch some of the older movies now. Like they mentioned, I didn't notice this at the time, because I don't read comic books or anything. I'm not a big comic book guy. I just follow the movies. But I went back and saw some scenes from, Age of Ultron. And they mentioned Wakanda. I'm like, I don't remember that. That's so cool. They kind of tie in the Black Panther stuff and whatever. Yeah, like you said, it feels like a takeover. Like every takeover has been good to great to amazing. And then I've never seen a Marvel movie that ended. It's like, wow, that sucked or I'm disappointed. Yeah. I mean, obviously some are better than others, but I've never been like, I give up on Marvel. They don't know what they're doing. Stan Lee has lost his mind. No, every movie makes sense, and they continue to raise the bar.
I've said that about DC more times in the last year.
What was that?
I said that more times about DC in the last year.
Exactly.
Oh God.
DC's more like the main roster.
Yeah.
Justice League was like WrestleMania, the equivalent to like WrestleMania 32. It's like had this big build up, and you had such a great star-studded card, and then it's like, and it was all right.
And then it just fell completely flat.
Just shits the bed, completely. So I think that's a fair comparison, especially with these movies, and especially with like NXT recently. I would say the last maybe year or so of NXT has been like fucking fire. I mean, TakeOver NXT's always been great, but it's had its peaks and valleys. They take people away. You know, like people will die in the MCU. I mean, more so. I mean, obviously, more people leave NXT than people died in the MCU before Infinity War. We'll talk about that soon enough. But with NXT, they always continue to replenish the pot, and they continue to put top stars that people want to see on the card and on their shows and whatever. But the last, 4 or 5 takeovers have been just fucking phenomenal. And the same thing for Marvel, too. All the movies have been good to great to amazing for the most part. But I was thinking about this the other day. The last 4 or 5 have been just tremendous. Like, I think among their best movies ever. And I love the first Avengers and a few of the other earlier films, but like Infinity War, obviously.
Here is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know a damn thing about Marvel and how huge it is, Black Panther. I will say this: Black Panther had like little to no momentum when it was released. I'm not gonna lie; I had no idea what Black Panther was when it came out.
Yep.
It is now in the top 10 highest-grossing films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
All time.
Mm-hmm.
And all it had. I mean, I'm probably just spewing BS because it might have had like a tremendous following that I just don't, or that I'm just not aware of.
Well, the thing,
top 10,
it's crazy
ever. Like that's crazy, and like all they had was the Marvel banner.
Mm-hmm.
That's how big this is.
Yeah, and the movie was really, really good too. But yeah, like you said, I mean, at least for me personally, I think people were looking forward to Black Panther after he was introduced in Civil War, but he wasn't a major part of that film. And I know. I mean, there was some buzz for it because I know they had like the pre-sales for the movie were like insane, like more than any other movie in recent history. But it's like,
oh my God, it was a fan. And also, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah, very good movie. Absolutely very good movie. But like you said, it wasn't built up over 10 years. Like, it wasn't a sequel to anything. God, no. It was just, I don't know, people just were looking forward to seeing what it was all about. Like, I'm in the same boat as you. I mean, I wasn't one of those people that had been waiting 3 years to see Black Panther. It's like, okay, I know it's a Marvel movie.
Neither.
They haven't disappointed me. It's probably going to be good. And it was great. It was a great film. So, I can't disagree with you there. I completely agree. The last 4 or 5 movies they put together, Black Panther broke box office records. Infinity War obviously did too, and both movies were great. Even further beyond that, you have Ragnarok, and I was not a fan of the first few Thor films. I think I saw part of one. I was not really, I don't know, those movies bored me personally.
That one I will admit I have not seen yet.
The first one, or both of them, Thor 1 or Thor 2?
Might have seen Thor 1, definitely didn't see Thor. I haven't really followed a whole lot on, which
I agree. Same here.
Which I'm kind of disappointed in myself for that, because Hemsworth is incredible. I love him.
Yes, but at the same time, at least for me, going into that, not going in because, I mean, I didn't see the first Thor movie initially when Avengers came out. But when Avengers came out, I don't know, I thought all the Avengers were great in that movie. Thor excited me the least. Not because of Hemsworth, but just because the character felt really, really boring. Like, oh, this god, blah, blah. It felt like a fucking Roman Reigns of the Avengers, of the MCU. And it bored me to tears. And I was like, this character does nothing for me.
It's so funny because, like, on a lot of, like, the movie posters, like, he'll be doing the kind of pose that Roman does when he's he's in the ring with the fist in the ground.
Absolutely. He would be the Thor of the universe, of the MCU, but at the same time, unlike Roman Reigns, the Thor character has come so far. He's evolved so much.
Exactly.
And I agree. I can't say I'm disappointed I wasn't a fan of those first few movies, because once he started to, get better, or the character just got more entertaining, and maybe they just let Hemsworth be himself. I'm not really sure. Because in Ragnarok, he was fucking phenomenal. The guy was hilarious. He had the Hulk in that movie. Mark Ruffalo is great as the Hulk. He was awesome in that movie. He played a really big role in this one, too, in Infinity War, and he knocked it out of the park. Him and Rocket was one of the best parts of the entire movie. Just their banter back and forth was straight fire. So I can't say that I'm like, I can't believe I got thrown a year earlier.
Bigger Peter Dinklage was fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was amazing.
I did not know about that either. I mean, I'm unlike with me. With me, I'm not like with wrestling where I like read the dirt sheets for like Marvel stuff going into the movies. Like, this person like.
Oh God, no, I don't.
Yeah, like for example, like they said some woman from Thor Ragnarok. I think her name was Valkyrie. Did you see Ragnarok or no? No, I haven't, not yet. So they have a female star in that movie who plays a pretty big role that they said that she was signed on for this movie, never made an appearance. She wasn't in this movie at all. And they never said that. I think she's still alive. I know that at the beginning scene of Infinity War, they kill off like half the Asgardians in that ship. I think she escaped or something like that. But yeah, so just because they say they're signed on for the movie means nothing. But the point I'm trying to make is that you mentioned Peter Dinklage. They had said going in that he was signed on. What role will he play? I had no idea. I had no clue what role that he would play in that movie because I did not know he was even in the movie.
Dinklage was even signed.
Exactly. I had no idea he was even in the movie. Mm-hmm. So I think that's even better too. I think with this movie, and I know some people who have like read the spoilers, and that's fine, and they still want to go see the movie because they're excited. There's some people that are fine knowing what happens. They just want to see how it happens. I'm the type of person that doesn't want to know shit. I don't want to know anything, I mean, I'll watch the trailers, obviously. Some people don't even do that, but I don't want to be spoiled at all.
You're torturing yourself if you don't watch the trailer.
The trailer got me so hyped. I've watched it like 30 times, even after I saw the movie. It's so good. The trailer was amazing. And the thing with the Marvel stuff, too, they're like WWE. They'll swerve you. Like, there's some stuff in the trailer that was nowhere even near to being in the movie. They had that shot of Iron Man. It looks like he's holding like someone's hand when he's on that planet at the end, and it looks like he's crying, but it's not anyone else's hand. It's his own hand. And it's like, wow, that's awesome. They did that they just mastered that shot. It was great. And there's a couple shots, like I said, in the trailer that aren't in the movie, but it's not like they swerved you for the wrong reasons. It's all for the right reasons. I didn't come out of this movie like, they didn't have that battle scene on Wakanda with Thor. Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, they just do certain things to swerve people just to keep people on their toes. And that's what they have to be doing. They can't give away too much in the trailer. So, like, there was, that one shot, it's been turned into memes with, like, Marty Skrull and shit, but, like, that one shot of Thanos, he's, like, punching Captain America, and he has his fist. Remember that shot of the movie?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's towards the end. It's in the trailer and all the trailers. In the original trailer, obviously, because it takes place towards the end of the movie, in the trailer, he only has 2 Infinity Stones. In the actual movie, by that point in the film, he has, like, all 5, or 5 out of 6.
Exactly.
They're not going to show 5 out of fucking 6 of the Infinity Stones in the gauntlet in the trailer.
Clearly not.
Exactly.
If they did that, there'd be no point in going to see it.
Exactly. So, they did that really, I thought they did that very, just nicely. They executed it perfectly in terms of swerving people, but not giving too much away, and making them want to, see how it happens or even what happens, because a lot of stuff was completely unknown going into this movie. And just a lot of the deaths, I mean, we knew a lot of people would get killed off. I mean, obviously, that people that were, like, dusted away at the end are going to be back in the next movie. Like, they're not making a Guardians 3 with just fucking Rocket. Like, that's not going to happen. I guess they could.
I'd be very impressed if they did.
I'd be very impressed if they did, too, and it would be a pretty cool Rocket solo film. But, they're not killing off all of them. But I would assume that the people they killed, like Vision, Gamora, and Loki, I think are done for good. I think they would not have done that unless they were done for good. But then again, they brought back, if you saw that first Infinity film, I know you did, I forgot what his name was. He was like the agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that. I think his name was Phil Coulson or whatever. And he died in that movie. He got shot.
Yeah.
Or he got stabbed by Loki, and he died. But then he was brought back to life in one of the fucking TV shows. It's like, okay, what was the point of that? It's like, It's the equivalent in WWE of getting fired in a loser gets fired match, and then just showing up on SmackDown the next day. It's pretty much the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like with Owens and saying, you're fired, but not really, we'll bring you back. It's like, okay, then what the fuck was the point?
Exactly.
But still, I think those people that died are dead for good. And I think I completely agree with the ending. From what I've seen from people who have seen the movie, either they loved it or the 5% of the people that I've seen that didn't like it just didn't like the ending. Because they were sad those people died. It's like, they worked you. That's the way you're supposed to fucking feel. You're supposed to feel defeated, like you were saying, Jamie. You know, people are like, oh, that ending was too sad.
It's just like, you keep forgetting that there's another movie coming out next year.
Exactly. They're just building anticipation.
And as far as I know, I don't think there are, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that there are any other Marvel movies scheduled for the rest of this year. I know Captain Marvel is coming out before the next Avengers film. I know that. But I don't think that there's any more scheduled for the rest of 2018, as far as I know.
So here's what's going on with the MCU, from what I understand, moving forward. Like you said, Captain Marvel. Did you stay tuned for the post-credit scene with Captain Marvel, the reveal at the end there?
Of course I did.
And
if you leave during the credits of a Marvel movie, you haven't learned you have not learned your lesson.
Yeah,
and you will continue not to learn your lesson.
And some of them are like, okay, that was cool, but it wasn't really worth staying for. Like the Captain America, it was Captain America, but it was in Spider-Man. It's like, oh, patience or whatever, what the hell it was. It was like a PSA from Captain America. That was kind of stupid, but it was funny. Didn't play in any future films at all, but it was funny for what it was. This one sets the stage for Captain Marvel perfectly, you know? This one is well worth staying for. And you get the return of Nick Fury. I don't think he's been in a Marvel movie since Age of Ultron, I don't think, since Avengers 2. I don't think he was in Civil War. I don't think so. I haven't
seen Civil War since I saw it in theaters, which I hate to say.
Same, but I did rewatch it like a month or two ago on Netflix because it is on there as of a few months ago.
Yeah, that's right. It is on Netflix, isn't it?
So definitely rewatch it, but I think from what I saw, from when I rewatched it, I don't think he's in there. I forgot where he is, but he's not in that movie. So it was cool to see him resurface. They have Captain Marvel. But in terms of what other movies are coming out, they have Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, coming out in July.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, yes.
So that comes out.
But Ant-Man wasn't in Avengers.
No. So. Yeah, he was not in this movie. Neither was Hawkeye, which I was like, why aren't they in the movie? But I think they'll play a bigger role in the next. I mean, they're not just going to forget about him. It's not like their contract expired with Marvel and they're not doing any more movies. Like, they're still signed on. They're appearing in either this one or the next one, so they'll obviously be in the next one. But I thought I thought it was cool that they didn't just bring them in for the final scene at the end. Like, if they brought them in for the final fight for like 10 seconds, how much would it really mean? They would be like a footnote. They would be like a complete afterthought in the entire war of Wakanda or wherever they were in those final few scenes. So I'm glad they just completely kept them out of the film, but they did not ignore their existence. They did mention them at one point. They said, I think they're on house arrest or something coming off of Civil War, because Ant-Man was in Civil War. Hawkeye was in Civil War, because I know Hawkeye was like with his family at the end of Avengers 2, but he was in Civil War. So I know they're on house arrest right now or something they said, so I'm sure they'll be back in time for Avengers 4, but no, I like the fact they keep you guessing for the next one.
Oh, exactly, and that should be their job every time, is to keep you on your toes, to try and keep you guessing. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, how are they going to do this now? Like, now, the cliffhanger they left you on now, it's like, how can you not want to watch the next one?
Yep.
When it's out? How could you not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like, man, I'm pumped now. Hell, I mean, like, God, I need to start a countdown on my phone or something now. That might be something I might do after this is done.
Well,
do that.
let's just say this: between Avengers 4 and WrestleMania 35, 2019 already looking lit as fuck.
Oh my God! Yeah, exactly. You're telling me.
They're only only a month apart too. One's in April.
Oh, I know.
One's in May.
Crazy.
So yeah, you got to get the countdown going for not only WrestleMania but Avengers 4 as well, which is currently untitled. I know this one was supposed to. I know it was called Infinity War. This was supposed to be Part 1. That being Part 2. They scrapped the parts, so it's just Infinity War. No Part 1 shit. The next one will not be called Part 2, unless they go back to what they were thinking originally.
You know what would be a neat name for the next one?
What?
Infinity's End.
Ooh, I like that.
I don't know literally just thought of that now.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity's End.
Because it's kind of marking the end of the last 10 years of the MCU. So I like that a lot. Yeah, I hope they go something along those lines.
If they do use that name, I want fucking royalties, man.
And this is all documented, too, here on the show. So we have audio evidence of this taking place. So Marvel, Stanley, if you're listening, and I know you are, use the title and give our friend Dr. Mac some credit here. And also, help fund the trips for WrestleMania as well. He's already well on his way to making the trip possible.
I don't even want, like, pay my Mania week experience. That's all I'm asking for.
Mm-hmm. Just pave the way for WrestleMania weekend. That's all. That's all we're asking for here for Dr. Mac. But yeah, I don't know. I think the ending for Infinity War, it just really gave me like an Empire Strikes Back vibe here, where it's like the heel won, but it keeps you guessing. And there wasn't any there wasn't a hope spot, so to speak, here with like, the baby faces you see. Who was left? Iron Man and everyone left on Wakanda from like Captain America and a few of the others, Hulk and Thor. It's not like you saw them like, okay, we're gonna win in the next one. No, it just fucking ended. You just see Thanos and that's it. This was really the Thanos movie, by all accounts.
Exactly.
That's why it was so good, and we have not really gotten a taste of what Thanos not only is capable of, or really what his motivations are until this film. He's appeared in a few others. He was in Guardians. Probably more than any other movie, but he did appear in a few post-credit scenes for Avengers 1 and then Avengers 2. But I have to say, at least from the movies that I've seen of the MCU, which is pretty much all of them for the most part, I think Thanos has got to be the best villain they've ever had. I don't even think it comes close.
Really though, is there anyone, let's be fair, how many villains have gotten this far?
Yeah, exactly. Or really just
there's your reason
character
right
development.
there.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And just the fact that they made him such a dastardly bad guy here. But at the same time, it's like he had his reasons for doing so. Like in his mind, like we always talk about, the best heels have some semblance of truth to their character. And I think Thanos is kind of in that same vein where he wants to kill off half of humanity to save the people that are left, to make sure there's no more hunger and starvation, all this other shit. So I think you kind of understand what he's doing, but just the means that he's taking to do it aren't sound, so to speak. So that's what I think makes him such a great character. So yeah, I think Thanos just did a tremendous job. I think who was he played by here? I don't remember. I forgot what his name was. God. It's escaping me at the moment, but he did Josh Brolin was his name.
Yes.
Did a fantastic job as Thanos in this movie, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Thanos for Avengers 4. I think they really left things off on a super high note here. I loved it.
Same. This next year's wait is going to be painful, but it's definitely going to be worth it. We got Ant-Man and we got Captain Marvel to tide us over.
Exactly. At least we have those to hold us over in the meantime. I was going to say 2018, good year so far, but it's like, okay, just let's skip to the end here so I can get to WrestleMania and get to Infinity War 4.
Just I don't mind if we skip SummerSlam. We can skip fall. We can skip Christmas. It's like, whatever. Let's just get to next year already.
I'm completely okay with that. We got to hop in the DeLorean. Let's go right ahead to 2019 right now. It would have been lit, though. It's cool the movie's coming out in early May. They changed the release date for this one a few weeks ahead of its release to late April as opposed to early May. So they could always change it again. But it would be cool, to be quite honest with you, had they moved it to the Friday before Mania, so we can go see it when we're there for WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, my God.
That would be the best weekend probably of all time.
I'll skip the Hall of Fame. I don't care.
Easily. Not even close. I'll skip fucking, I don't even know who would go in next year. I'll skip Yoshi Tatsu's induction. I don't know who else would be inducted next year, you know what I mean? So I'll skip some loser's induction just to go to the Infinity War premiere on that Friday. But it is in May, so we still have some time to go. So I am looking forward to it. The movie should be great. This movie was 2 thumbs up from yours truly. What would you give it out of 10, Jamie, from a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, dear. Probably 9, at least.
At least. Yeah, I think that's either 9 or 10. I would have to agree.
9, maybe 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, would not surprise me if it gets a full 10. Would not surprise me at all.
I think that final scene, I've been thinking about this since I saw Infinity War for the first time. I think that final scene to the end of the next one, which you know is coming when they have the entire cast of, the entire ensemble of the Avengers, lined up, ready to battle Thanos. Every Avenger, Hawkeye, Ant-Man 2, and all the ones that are left aren't dead yet.
They're going to have them all lined up, oh man, I'm getting chills thinking about it.
I was going to say, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's going to be an amazing visual. Oh god, it's going to be outstanding. So I cannot wait for May 3rd to be here. Literally, you know what? The timing of this podcast, Jamie, is perfect. We're talking to May 3rd. It's a year from today. Holy shit, I don't know why I didn't realize that. So in 1 year, we'll definitely have, you know what? We'll schedule the date right now, Jamie. We waited so long to talk about the theme song podcast we did back in December. We had scheduled it for so long. We'll schedule a podcast for 1 year from today. We'll pull a Jericho McFoley here. I'll have you back here on WrestleRant Radio for the May 2nd, May 3rd. Maybe we'll postpone it to a Friday next year just to talk about Avengers Infinity War Part 2 or 4, whatever the hell it is. So we can bank on that date for our next discussion. Now, obviously, you'll be back here on the show before then, but just in the long term.
I would hope so.
Of course. We cannot, Dr. Mac, we need more daily doses of the Mac here on WrestleRant Radio. We never get enough of Jamie here on the show, and our discussions are always...
Don't forget our Special Mania ones, too, man.
Of course.
Can't forget those.
Of course. That one we did back in March. This one's been great. The one we did back in March was outstanding as well. It was a lot of fun. Those 2 hours just flew right by.